Well, hello, everybody. My name is Joe Gilroy, and we want to welcome you to ECTV's program today is going to be about the Northeastern Pennsylvania COVID-19 Response Fund through the Scranton Area Foundation. And we have several guests with us today from these foundations, or from these nonprofits, that will give us a brief overview of how important they are to our area. And first and foremost, we have with us the President and CEO of the Scranton Area Foundation, Laura Ducceschi. And we also have with us, I believe, Ken, you're the chairman. Forgive me if I pronounce your name wrong. Is it Okrepkie?
Okrepkie, right on.
Wow, that was pretty good, huh? Okay. Welcome aboard.
Glad to be here.
Laura, would you like to introduce some of these representatives from our nonprofits that are with us today? We can bring them online, and they can tell us a little bit about their organization. Or Ken, would you like to speak first? Whatever suits you.
No, let Laura start.
Well, I would love to bring aboard our four representatives from the nonprofit organizations that we've been able to work with through the NEPA COVID-19 fund, and the four agencies that we're going to be hearing from today, in addition to the Scranton Area Community Foundation, is Community Intervention Center, United Neighborhood Centers, Breadbasket, and Serving Seniors. I'll start by talking a little bit about the fund, just so we can have an overview of what the fund is set up for. Well, the Scranton Area Community Foundation is the community foundation of the Lackawanna County and surrounding region. And so the reason that, we established the NEPA COVID-19 fund is because we know that, so many individuals are experiencing unprecedented challenges because of COVID-19, the crisis and the pandemic. And the Community Foundation, what it's set up to do is all about, responding to community needs and connecting charitable resources to do so. So about 3 weeks back, when we established this fund, we established it as a rapid response fund, a different way of doing grant making, basically to partner with these organizations that are on the front lines in many cases of experiencing the challenges from that, dealing with vulnerable populations. And, a lot of that philosophy of how we really had to jump in and respond to that, came down from our board of governors. So I'm glad Ken's here to talk to us a little bit about the strategy behind that.
Mm-hmm. When this idea first was broached, or somebody thought of it, how complicated was it to put this together in such a short period of time?
Well, it was, we had to act fast. We know anything regarding crisis philanthropy means you have to act fast. You have to get out there in front of it, and you have to establish something in the sense that we wanted to get community buy-in. We wanted to partner with other foundations, other charitable individuals to be able to mount the type of response that we think that this kind of crisis is going to warrant. So we had to act fast, and the hardest part was in the beginning, setting it up, and obviously nothing compared to what our partners are dealing with through this. So, it was our part in what we could do to help them manage this crisis. And, that was really a lot of parties coming together to make that happen.
Mm-hmm. And it is good cooperation, and it seems to be working successfully so far. And hopefully not in the too distant future, because we'd like to get this behind us, I'm sure. But Ken, a question for you. Nonprofits, just the term nonprofit, we really don't think of money or other goods for that matter. But nonprofits have to kind of stay in business. They need capital to help the community. Could you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, I'd say, first of all, Joe, I want to elaborate a little bit on what Laura said. I'm very proud of the team at the Scranton Area Foundation and all of the community's foundations that have come together and I really need to reinforce this, to collaboratively meet the needs of those most vulnerable populations in Northeastern Pennsylvania. And the speed in which they reacted and came together, it was truly remarkable. So I just wanted to reinforce that message. I think it's very important. That's a testament to the quality of the staff that is within this organization and the representatives within the community, the way they reacted to the need that's here today. But to your point, so think about it, from a nonprofit's perspective, their revenue streams are traditionally built around events that gather large number of people together, right? Whether it's a golf tournament or a dinner or a 5K race. And right now, that's just not possible. So in essence, they're nonprofits, but they have to have revenue in order to pay their staff and in order to provide the services that are so very, very important. And at a time like this, when you have, something taking place in our community, like a pandemic, those stressors just increase the need. So the thought is pretty simple. The need has actually gone up, but the resources for our nonprofits are constrained at a level that they've never seen before.
Mm-hmm. And, I keep seeing on television and hearing even on the radio everywhere else, we are all in this together. And I think the Scranton Area Foundation has kind of taken that mantra, to a step further to get all these groups together to try to help the vulnerable people out in our community. Now, I know it says Northeastern Pennsylvania, but Laura, if I can go back to you for a second, are we doing this? Of course, the term today seems to be phases. Are we trying to do this in phases, a community or a county at a time, or what's the plan going forward?
Yeah, it does say Northeastern Pennsylvania, and I think the rationale behind that is we realize it is going to expand beyond Lackawanna County, because a lot of the partnering foundations and funders that are coming into this fund so generously have interest in supporting initiatives in various counties. It could be Wayne County, it could be Wyoming County. So a lot of the funds that are going to be deployed through this fund are going to help organizations in various counties. The way it's set up is a rapid response fund, which means every 10 days, we hope to make a distribution to a specific number of nonprofits, of charities, across various sectors, and they could be in various counties. Predominantly, most are going to be in the Lackawanna County region, but there are several from other county areas. And so it's not focused so much on counties or sectors. It's focused on who's coming in this round within this 10-day period, demonstrating a specific need, and how can we fulfill it, and how can we get that capital out the door so that they can actually continue to fulfill their important mission. So it's really based on a different kind of grant making.
Okay. So is this open to all nonprofits in our area that can apply?
Absolutely. So it's open to 501c3 organizations. And that's interesting when you think of the term nonprofit. We talked a little bit about that, but that's, that's a tax exempt, a charitable organization. But how we would define nonprofit through this is a 501c3. It's a public nonprofit organization, public foundation, private foundation. Those are the kind of agencies that normally would come in for these types of grants that we're seeing.
Yeah, and Joe, I'd just like to add here quickly that so many folks are working from home right now and working in place, and as we're addressing social distancing, the team at the foundation and the collaborative nature of the partners and the funders, that there's a system in place that allows for nonprofits to quickly and easily apply for these funds, but probably more importantly, for a team of people to vet the applications that are being submitted to make sure that we can truly meet the most important needs that are being presented at this time. So it's a testament for the foundation to use the electronic tools that are at their disposal, make sure that they were put in place so that truly not only is it a collaborative effort on the funding, but the review process allows for quick and easy reaction to what's being presented.
Ken makes a great point. We set this up as a portal, this grant portal with this technology, so that nonprofits can come in simplified. Come in, fill in an application. That application will get seen by the NEPA COVID-19 Fund and the Scranton Area Community Foundation. It'll get seen by the Moses Taylor Foundation. It'll get seen by the Luzerne Foundation. It's trying to make it easier for nonprofit organizations to get funds. So, and then there, like he mentioned, the advisory processes. It's experts, it's community leaders from across the community, across the region that help us understand the needs.
These nonprofits that we're talking about, the ones. Well, let me go back a second. Do you have a figure yet? How many have applied so far?
Yeah, in the past two and a half weeks since the fund has actually been started and launched, we've seen in excess of 70 applications come through the site, and in excess of $2 million of need. So it's out there. The need is there. And, you know, that's why specifically with this fund, we're not being we're not being specific to the sector. We want various nonprofits to apply to us if they have need. Now, some funders, some foundations may have specific things that they want to fund through us, and that's fine. We absolutely will honor that. That's part of our partnership, but we're allowing various nonprofits to come through the portal.
Yeah, because some nonprofits will target senior citizens. That's the big topic today as well. They're the most vulnerable, it seems. But COVID-19, as we've seen in the last month or so, has no age restrictions one way or the other, although we know people with underlying conditions, people are over a certain age, probably 65 or older, seem to have more problems with it. And I'm sure there's nonprofits out there that target those individuals, as well as people that are, like you said, staying home, maybe have small children. They need to eat. You know, they need care.
You're absolutely right. Senior citizens, elderly, economically disadvantaged, otherwise vulnerable, children. I think these are all important groups of people that need to be specifically supported through this fund. And I also think that we're going to hear from today various agencies that support those specific vulnerable communities.
Now, your fund is separate from, I think the federal fund is called the CARES Act, but I'm really not sure of that. But these nonprofits could use this in addition to the CARES Act. Do you think that's correct?
I think that's absolutely correct. I think, and now Ken can speak to this too, because he knows a lot about this issue. But I think our hopes with this fund is that it helps nonprofit organizations get across a barrier. Perhaps they're waiting for funding to come in. This will help them mitigate that. Perhaps they, some unfortunately either feel that they can't access the resources or are unsure how to do so. So this also helps fill in those gaps. I think this is looked as an interim measure to help them.
Yeah, I think under the CARES Act, you have the payroll protection program where nonprofits will have access to pay for kind of the payroll of their staff. But there are so many other expenses, and you take in a situation where they can't raise money at this point in time, it just puts a really heavy burden on the nonprofit community to serve, whether it's from the homeless or food surety or addressing mental health issues. It just puts those organizations in such a challenging position. So I think the CARES Act will help on the payroll side for probably 8 weeks, but the loss of revenue that almost every nonprofit is going to have. And I think it's even, my fear is that when the economy starts to turn back on, guess what? That will start to drive revenue to for-profit businesses. But the bigger challenge, I don't believe we're going to have large groups of people come together for a while yet. And that's ultimately the mechanism that they use to raise money. So I think we're in for a long haul here. That need that we saw in only 2 weeks was $2 million. I think that need's going to continue to grow aggressively.
That seems feasible. I mean, nonprofits, just like everybody else, they have to pay rent, they have utility bills, they have expenses. On top of payroll, they have expenses that they have to meet, and then have to go out and help the community on top of that. So it really is a struggle and a challenge for many of them, I'm sure. But let me ask this other question then. We know that there's said about the $2 million and so forth. How do nonprofits, let's say the ones that haven't applied yet, how does a nonprofit apply for these funds?
Well, it's relatively simple. There's a specific portal that they would come into and fill out a series of questions. Now, to be honest, we purposely simplified the process because this is all about crisis philanthropy. It's about helping organizations at a time that they're already challenged in capacity. So it's a trust-based philanthropy. We need specific information because that's how we're following our practices with the IRS and with all of our partners. That's part of charitable giving. But we want to make it simple so that our partners can access resources in a timely fashion, providing the basic information. So they come in through the portal, they fill out specific information, they submit the grant, they tell us about the need, what they need specifically, and then we have round one, round two, round three. We try to make them time-based, try to respond quickly. And then that application goes to an advisory committee. The advisory committee reviews it, looks at the need, looks at the amount asked, and tries to help with that need, tries to make a grant with that need. And then we try to rapidly get those resources out the door to these organizations. And I think, our partners today on this call are going to be able to tell us a lot about, their specific challenges and what they're dealing with, and how they're using these resources in addition to others that they need.
And Laura, is it correct that if you're a nonprofit who needs access to the capital, or you're a donor who's interested in providing resources to be distributed, they could come to our website, correct? The Scranton Area Foundation's website to access that?
Absolutely. Yeah, they can easily access the portal through the Scranton Area Foundation's website. There's definitely a link through that we can share later on the broadcast, but it is coming through the website, and that's www.safdn.org. And the NEPA COVID-19 link will be there.
Do we have some of these nonprofit organizations with us now? We could bring them on?
They are. We have 4 joining us today, I believe. Okay. So we'd like to get them on with us.
We'll get them up and running.
Mm-hmm.
While we're waiting for them, you might have to refresh my memory. How many have applied so far, roughly?
Yeah, so far in about 2.5 weeks, we've seen 75 to 80 applications come into the portal. We've seen $2 million worth of need, which is why we're actively still fundraising for this fund. That's a big part of being a community foundation. Mm-hmm. There is an endowment and there are various funds, but you are partnering with the community to serve needs. And so we're really trying to meet as much of this need as we can, and we're doing it through community partners.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I see we have somebody on board. If they'd like to, you'd like to introduce them, Laura, and then they can tell us a little bit about their organization.
Absolutely. So we have Lisa Durkin with us, and she's the executive director of the United Neighborhood Center, a fantastic organization that does so much in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning.
Good morning. United Neighborhood Centers has been around quite a while. Could you give our viewers kind of a synopsis or a brief overview of the background of your organization, but in particular, the needs of the community and the needs of your clients right now?
Sure. Well, we've actually been in the community since 1923, and our mission is to provide services and create opportunities which empower individuals and build strong, interdependent communities. Right now, our mission has been put to the test during this crisis. There's been a huge demand on the essential supports that we're providing to our neighbors, particularly food. We've seen overwhelming demands in the increase for food services through our pantry that's open 5 days a week, the seniors that we serve through senior centers, senior housing, and other areas.
Thanks, buddy.
Not only the need to have food, but to get it to them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been challenging.
The food distribution, I'm going to assume, is all ages.
All ages. We're serving families, we're serving seniors, we're serving children who have typically been enrolled in our child care centers. Mm-hmm. Children and their families are showing up every Saturday for the bagged lunch program. Mm-hmm. Seniors are receiving frozen meals, a week's worth of frozen meals, and some supplemental food to keep on their shelves. And the families that are coming in are receiving a food order. We've distributed as many as 190 in one day since this crisis began. What we've tried to do is create a food order for families that includes some non-perishable items to prevent spoilage, some meat, frozen vegetables, and some produce as well, trying to make sure that we're including some healthy foods to support people in their healthy immune systems.
I'm sure nobody wants to see anybody, especially children, go hungry. Nobody, I would hope. I also see we have Linda on here. Linda, my name is Joe Gilroy. How are you?
It's actually, we have Mary Ann Maloney-Evans with us. It's amazing how with Zoom technology, right? Sometimes you never know what name's going to show up on your screen. So
maybe we should say Jan Doe would be safe.
yeah.
And I apologize for that, but that's the name I see on my screen.
Absolutely. So that's why I'm like filling it in so we know it's
yeah, just feel free to bump right. So you're Mary Ann, is it?
Yes, it is. How are you, Joe?
Welcome. Good. You want to, again, we're going a little brief overview of your organization and what you're doing in this crisis to serve the community, a little background on your group.
Okay. Serving Seniors Incorporated has been organized since 1975. In fact, this year we are celebrating 45 years of service to our community. We primarily serve all nursing home, personal care home, assisted living residents throughout Lackawanna, Monroe, Wayne, and Pike counties. We do that through our ombudsman program, which is our ombudsman serves as an advocate for these residents, resident rights. We have a volunteer ombudsman program where we recruit and train volunteers to assist as needed. We have a court-appointed guardianship of person and estate services, as well as an active volunteer visitation program to provide visitation to area residents. Right now, we're using these funds for an Operation Reach Out program where we're asking community for volunteers to assist us in sending cards, drawings from children, making it an intergenerational project to relieve the isolation associated with being in a nursing home and personal care home at this time, and the isolation that certainly they are feeling right now with this most vulnerable population.
Yeah. I can empathize. Years ago, my own mother was in a nursing home, and even under normal circumstances, even though they're doing a good job, it was somewhat challenging and depressing. So I think everybody should support the elderly like that, especially those in nursing homes. Well, I'm afraid to ask your name because I see Jackson on the screen, so you might have to correct me.
Yeah, that's my son's. He's been using my computer a lot.
I know the feeling. I have grandchildren.
Yeah, he's been Zooming with his school. So I am not Jackson. I am Phoebe Wilson.
Hello,
and I'm from the Breadbasket of Northeast Pennsylvania. And we are a nonprofit that supports food pantries, and our mission is, to feed those in need. So we're trying to do that in a balanced way with non-perishables as well as some fresh foods when possible. So that's what we've been using our funds for. We're really taxed right now. We're low on volunteers because most of them are retirees, and we don't want them putting themselves at risk. So
now, do people come to you, or do you go to them, or
people come to us?
Okay.
We have
sure it's done safely and securely.
Oh yeah, we're doing it drive-through style right now, and we have 6 locations. Everyone's in masks and gloves and trying to stay safe.
You've seen an increase in the requests.
Yes, lots of new clients, people we've never seen before. The demand is high now, and I think it's going to get worse.
Unfortunately, I agree with you on that. I don't know if the worst is behind us or what the future holds, but what I think I know is it's going to be different for everybody. Ken, do you have anything to add to that? Excuse me.
I was going to say, Joe, I think that's why we're hoping that this fund specifically helps organizations through the crisis and the recovery phase. And that's why, we're telling organizations that come in once that they can come back in, because that's part of the goal, is that the fund's continually acquiring resources. We know needs going to continue to exist. We know they're going to change. We want organizations to feel free that they can keep coming back into the portal.
Yeah, I think that's an important fact that I've never really thought about. So if someone has received a grant from the Scranton Area Foundation and they've spent it accordingly, they can come back and reapply for additional grant?
Yes, because we know unfortunately, you can't predict what's going to happen. Yeah. We know that the economic aspects of this health crisis are probably going to unfortunately continue, as our colleagues have said on this call, and we want to be there to support the needs.
Yeah, there's a very good chance that recovery period will be longer for nonprofits than it will be for the for-profits.
I think that's another key point too. That's why what I would like to do, our time is almost up, but what I would like to do is maybe follow up on this in a couple of weeks because I think this has to keep going and it has to stay in front of the public. Like you said, Ken, it's not going to go away right away, but eventually we hope that it will.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know we have one more partner with us from Community Intervention Center,
Okay.
and that's Jason Griffiths. He's with us. We don't see him.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, Jason. I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Oh,
That's
okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you.
That's
okay.
fine.
Yes. My name is Jason Griffiths. I'm from the Community Intervention Center. We are a day shelter in Scranton. It works now. We service homeless individuals that are on the streets, in abandoned buildings, under bridges. Our mission statement is that we try to do a comprehensive services that encourage personal empowerment, self-sustaining recoveries, and housing stability for people that are. I got it. Thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Before I couldn't tell if you guys could hear me, and I'm like screaming to Troy, Troy, help me!
By the
We can
way,
hear you.
I
We
know
just
that
can't
feeling.
see you.
Oh, good. Thank gosh I wasn't swearing. So sorry.
Yeah,
But with our agency, we are of course still open. We are open 7 days a week from 8 in the morning till 6 o'clock at night. We have we have a station when you come in the door. Everyone has to wear a mask. We sanitize every hour on the hour with bleach and water. We've been using the money to buy air purifiers, our cleaning stuff, masks, gloves. Last month we went through 1,000 masks, and we're just a small agency that sees, at our height before all this, we were seeing between, 60 to 100 people. And, unfortunately, we have been getting some masks. It is kind of hard for our agency. We've been trying to find stuff like masks and gloves like that, a hand sanitizer. Everywhere we've called. The city is helping. United Neighbor Center is helping. We've got contacts out there, but we're still on the boots are on the ground. We're only dealing with the homeless right now. You have to be homeless on the streets and in the shelter. We have been telling people we do mail checks, but as soon as they come to the door, we go through the mail and we bring it right to them outside.
Where are you located?
We're located in Scranton. It's 445 North 6th Ave. We're right by Redner's off of Linden Street.
Okay, yeah, I'm familiar with that area down there.
Yeah, big red building with pink doors and a big parking lot. Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's filling up. That's kind of the sad or bad news. But again, there's an expense they probably never thought of. All these cleaning supplies, Ken.
Well,
never had
no, I mean, and especially now, they're like expensive now. I mean, I mean, before we were buying stuff, and now you can see it's creeping up a little bit. Our purveyors are saying that they're not going to, price gouge. But the thing is, we can't get anything anymore now. So what we have is what we have to kind of use. So we do have enough bleach and stuff like that. But it's just the masks, and like in our agency, we do showers and laundry. So that's a very important thing for when you're outside. You can't go, you don't have a shower or anything, so you have to come here. So, and we do a thermometer check. We check temperature as soon as you come in the building. So we're kind of like on lockdown, but I mean, everyone's still working. Thank gosh, no one's hurt. No one's been sick or anything. We haven't had any clients sick that we know of. Good.
Well, even the law of supply and demand affects nonprofits just like everybody else. And I think that's one of the things we're seeing as well.
Yes.
And, unfortunately, I think prices will rise, but hopefully they won't gouge for everybody.
Right. Yeah. I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
Laura, do you have anything to add? I think we're just about out of time.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to say or tell the public, our viewers?
I want to thank all of our nonprofit partners, the executives and project directors that are on this call with us, and for all your work that you're doing in this time, for your partnership, and for serving our community. We're grateful from the staff, the leadership and board of the Scranton Area Foundation, to so many charitable partners in the community, from foundations to businesses to individuals that are helping us move forward with this fund. And to date, we've raised a significant amount of resources, but I will say that the need exceeds what is being raised. So we continually need that partnership and support. So if individuals or organizations or contributing to the COVID-19 crisis in our region, this is one effective way to do it.
Okay. And they can do that through your website, through a link?
Yeah, they absolutely can do it through our website, or they can call the office 570-347-6203, and we can help them if they want to support it in a way that doesn't involve a credit card on a website and involves a different type of transaction. Okay. But regardless what it is, we are grateful for the partnerships that are there. That's true. They say there's an old, speaking of economics, there's, you take care of the pennies, the dollars will take care of themselves. And I appreciate everybody being on today. I wish all the nonprofits in our area nothing but the best. And I urge our viewers to help in any way they can and to donate to the nonprofit or through the Scranton Area Foundation as much as they can. It's hard for everybody. We understand that. And Laura, I'd like to, like I said to Ken a little while ago, follow up on this maybe in a couple of weeks, see how we're doing, see what else we can do, get like a progress report, so to speak. We would love that. Thank you. Okay. Well, I want to again, thanks everybody. This is Joe Gilroy signing off for our NEPA COVID-19 Response Fund for the Scranton Area Foundation and for ECTV. Everybody stay safe and stay healthy. So long.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.